This is Logical MGTOW. Logical MGTOW Spock, right here. And I'm going to mention, for those who are misconstrued exactly of the MGTOW base, is that while we go against the feminist actions and mindset and whatnot, and also their so-called illogical, non-realistic strategies, this is only for those who are want to become MGTOW, welcome, and those who are MGTOW currently. But of course, if there's any feminist woman that's listening to this and wants to be red-pilled, no woman can be logically red-pilled. But the one thing is that if any woman tries to use the insignia of MGTOW on their video and try to proclaim that they know the MGTOW philosophy and the reason for MGTOW and whatnot else, you better not, because you're going to be roasted big time if you do that. And by many of the MGTOW members and red pill definers. The base of MGTOW is simply, and I will state it exactly, what the whole base of MGTOW is simply, and that is logically and simply this. A MGTOW member do not follow the feminist mindset. A MGTOW member do not follow the feminist movement and its ideology. MGTOW members do not spend more than $40, of course. That's the old one, of course, but the real aspect of a MGTOW member would be simply this. The new revised one is for logical MGTOW members as well as MGTOW members. Of course, I'm going to have to change that one right there to this one here. To be a true, real MGTOW member, part 1. We MGTOW members do not hate women, but we will not deal with their mind games, mind manipulation, and several other of their sinful, illogical, unrealistic feminist actions. And a true MGTOW member does not make it a mission or even make their first move to hook up with a woman. We watch as they try and with women, and we watch as they try to do that with us, essentially. MGTOW members with us MGTOW members, essentially, and we do not allow them to succeed, just walk away. We MGTOW members know that the feminist woman's true, real intent. Not many MGTOW members know this, so if you are a MGTOW member, never make the first move to hook up with a woman. And if the woman tries to hook up with you, do not allow it where she does hook up with you. Just walk away and make the feminist woman look like a complete idiot / loser, even in front of other women. If you are a MGTOW member and you hook up with a woman or allow a woman to hook up with you, you are not a true MGTOW member at all. No ifs, ands, or buts. The basic fact is that a MGTOW member will not be associated with a feminist, even a woman who claims to be that she's not a feminist. even though secretly she could easily be. Let's put it this way. If a MGTOW member is seen with a woman and it is found out that she is a feminist, that MGTOW member will be demoted out of MGTOW. The MGTOW member that is a married MGTOW member is not a full-fledged one. You're a purple pill. You're not a red pill 100% officially if you're married and you consider yourself a MGTOW member. If you are a MGTOW member, if you consider yourself a MGTOW member and you're basically kissing ass of the feminist movement by trying to put down other MGTOW members, you're not a MGTOW member at all, and you continue that shit like Yogi Oats has many times, you will never become a MGTOW member. You will be stuck getting drained by the feminist bitches and feminist Me Too movement women in the plantation. A true MGTOW member does not associate with the feminist. A true MGTOW member does not associate with a Me Too follower and definer and a feminist definer. We could easily look at the fact that the feminists, when it comes to the definers, pink or purple pill or burgundy. Because the basic fact is that the women that have commented claiming that they're not, one of them being the Prim Reaper, and believe me, there's several others that claim that they're not a feminist. The ones that claim that they're not part of they don't follow the Me Too movement as well, and they try to define and make reasons and definitions of why they're not, or they claim that they are not. The basic fact is they are. And with that also, you MGTOW members go and follow their terminology and believe them, then you are demoted out of MGTOW. A MGTOW member is supposed to be strong, self-assured, confident, independent within yourself. You are not to weaken in any way, and if you do start weakening, you let me or any other MGTOW member know, and we will help you build yourself back up from within to start with. If you are working in the adult industry, like our fellow member, Mr. Hate Vicious, which I'm not dissing Mr. Hate Vicious because he's a cool dude, right? but if you are in the adult industry, that could be looked as a separate base, but of course you could still be considered a MGTOW member as long as you don't associate with them outside the workplace. But if you are in the base of retail and you have to talk with a female, that's fine too. But don't go to the points to where they have full control over what you do, even within your job duties. Because if you do that, you are not really being true to yourself, and you're not being true to your position, no matter what position it is. There may not be many Me Too movement followers, definers, and also the same thing with the feminist base, right? But the basic fact is that these women of the current feminist and Me Too movement do not realize this, that the Me Too movement and the current feminist movement is not logical, is not realistic. And the pay-wage gap is not going to change just because they say so. There's nothing wrong with the pay-wage gap, the pay-wage situation at all. And also, the current millennial feminists and Me Too movement followers and definers and believers don't realize, and also the original ones, not the outside the millennial ones, don't realize the ERA of the 1970s should have been enough, and that was the only logical one. And I've mentioned this on my advocate videos of CRPHA, that the ERA marched and protested for women's rights, equality, independence, and various other things, right? Actually several other things in that sense. That was the only logical one. The current one of the current feminist movement is illogical, fairy tale, horseshit. Same thing with the Me Too movement. Fairy tale, non-belief, non-realistic, illogical, horseshit. Or another way of putting horse dung. Illogical. So therefore, the basic fact is, I know that many of us MGTOW members consider even Tom Likas himself to be a MGTOW member. Yes, he is. But also, in the aspect, he understands that not all will go the MGTOW way in the sense of the dating aspect. Those who consider themselves MGTOW and date would only have to spend $40, right? No more? No more than 40. And if they go over, just because they're becoming a major simp gradually without even realizing it, that is a Tom Likas fan. That is a not true MGTOW if you gradually simp and are weakening due to the woman. The basic fact is, if you want to be a true MGTOW member, you need to really do this. Let's put it in a simple way, okay? If you are seen with a woman and somehow or another that you or someone else finds out in the MGTOW universe, essentially, if you want to call it that, like the WWE universe type of thing. If they find out, or if you find out that she is truly a feminist, or even a definer, believer, follower, even though she may claim that she's not. Same thing with the Me Too aspect, right? You will be automatically, without question, demoted out of the MGTOW. We don't want that now, do we? Now, I know that everybody makes mistakes. That's obvious. We're all human. But the one thing is that you don't want to go so far in the points defining and having it to where the MGTOW members of yours and mine find out that you're dating a feminist or a Me Too movement follower, definer, believer. And same thing with the feminist, definer, and believers. The basic fact is that she cannot be part of any movement that goes to the points of feminism or Me Too or anything else for that matter. The basic fact is that she could still be showing independence within herself, confidence and belief and trust and many other positive things And as I've said many times before, no woman needs to be part of the feminist or Me Too movement to have that within them. It's basic also fact is that the woman from teenage on up, their radar is being blocked. Their logical, realistic radar is being blocked by their indecisions, their indecisiveness, their illogical actions of thought of actions, and their sinful thought of actions. Okay, I'm going to give you a sinful thought of action. Say, for example, you're not MGTOW yet, right? Say, for example, you're dating a woman and you're working retail, you're working fast food, you're working janitorial, whatever, right? And you're dating a woman, and then she claims to be, and she built up confidence and trust from you to be within her, right? That you trust her and all this other shit, right? Then somehow or another you find out that she cheated on you, but she denies it without question, especially. Or she comes over to you and says, "Yes, I cheated on you. Will you please forgive me?" There's a big red flag on both of those. That means she can't be trusted, especially in the base of marriage. And if she cheats on you even while married to you, big red flag not to have any children with. And if you've already had children with, guess what? You can fight to the points to where you have custody. Before she gets the leverage to where she has custody. It is believed that the court system will favor and side with the female. Granted, yes, that's a commonality and a common belief, right as it stands right now, right? But that has changed a number of times in the favor of men. Maybe not quite as often, but it can change. The basic fact is that you don't want to go so far on the base of cheating on her because she cheats on you. Especially even if you have a child with her or children with her. The basic fact also is that if you're dating her and you're not married to her, you could easily say, "Fuck you, bye-bye. Nice knowing you. Hasta la vista, baby. Das Vidania." You know, whatever other aspect of goodbye is. Or basically play I think it's the NSYNC or Backstreet. Yeah, the NSYNC song of Bye Bye Bye. You can do many ways on that aspect, as long as you don't harm her. That's one thing that MGTOW will not go for. If we find out that you harmed a woman, you're discluded. Thereby, you're stuck on the plantation. The basic fact is that many women, even the feminist women that put content on YouTube, as much as we MGTOW members do, those women still think, "Oh, men hate women. The MGTOW hate women. The MGTOW are this or MGTOW are that." Guess what? The basic fact is that we don't hate the human being known as women. Okay. The basic fact is that we don't like what the current feminist movement is doing and stands for and is about. The basic fact is that the women don't realize that the feminist movement is making it harder for them to find a decent man, but also so is their indecisiveness. So is the female's indecisiveness and indecision within their emotions, especially within themselves, all in one, and which is blocking their logical, realistic radar. And the more that happens, the much more difficult it will be for a woman to find a man. But here's the thing: it's not our doing. It's not the male's doing, inside or outside of MGTOW. Okay, but yet they want us to believe it is our fault when it's not. They want to blame us on everything, but yet the women are always blameless because they're known as the weaker sex in society. Start with. They want to change that. They have changed that. It's thanks to the ERA, the 70s feminist movement. But yet, obviously, the feminist movement of the 1970s, known as the ERA, wasn't enough for them now, was it? Because if it was, the feminist movement of today would not exist. The Me Too movement of today would not exist. I'm not saying MGTOW wouldn't exist, because there's always a possibility they could go against us regardless in some way or another, right? Right, man? The basic fact is, that's the basic fact and truth and logic of it, isn't it? Now, the one thing is, we can also go by Tom Likas on a dating aspect. But it will stand if she is a feminist, even though she claims that she's not. And if she is a Me Too follower, believer, definer, same thing on the feminist aspect. And if the MGTOW members find out, or in some way you leak it out and it's found out in that aspect as well, you'll be demoted out of MGTOW. We could easily give you a certain time until you realize the fucking fact of the truth and reality of women, even when it comes within the feminist movement and the Me Too movement, at current especially. You can be a transgender male and still be a MGTOW member. You could be a millennial male and still be part of the MGTOW movement, but do not back or side with the feminist and Me Too movement, because it's the Me Too movement of today, and the feminist movement of today is not logical and it's not realistic at all, regardless of what they may try to tell you. And there's going to be, obviously, in this war of wars between the two movements of MGTOW and Me Too and the current feminist movement, there's going to be many women trying to define themselves as MGTOW when they're really not, by using the MGTOW insignia and try to put out their definition of MGTOW when it's really not the real definition of MGTOW. And it's not really the real philosophy of MGTOW, of the female's perspective. Or even ideology for that matter. And belief of that. So you watch for that. The one thing also is simply, women have said many times that they can't find their place in society. Yet a number of them want to blame men. Even there's been one video shown by our MGTOW member and brother by the name of Mike the MGTOW Monk, where a feminist starts hitting a guy with a video camera and then trying to beat the living shit out of one that doesn't have the video camera. And trying to claim and associate herself with, showing that she's associated with the current Me Too and Feminist movement, and thinks that by hitting the guys, she's making a point. By committing a violent act towards a male, or any male for that matter, it doesn't matter if they're teenage or whatever, right? Or even college age, right? Or even older than college age. It doesn't prove a point. It doesn't show your stance either. That's the truth and logic of the whole thing. Yet many women have been caught, even putting up their dukes, as it were, towards a man, and swinging their fist towards a man. Yet there's been one video, even on the news media, that where one woman did that shit to prove that she was tough and shit, even though she could easily have been a feminist movement follower, definer, and believer. Same thing with the Me Too movement as well as a feminist, right? Yet the guy's like, what the fuck, you know? The basic fact is that she kept at it. She kept swinging at him, right? He said, fuck this shit. Bah! Right? Not his fault yet, but he's being blamed for it, right? Even to this day. He was defending himself. But the basic fact is, the feminist movement is trying to make it seem like men cannot defend themselves even against women. Even if a woman tries to hurt the guy can't hurt them, and they cannot defend themselves in any way, even if it is the points of physical harm. But the basic fact is that if a woman tries to do any physical harm towards you, you could do physical harm as long as you don't hospitalize them. You can defend yourself within the Constitution. You have every God-given right to do that, to defend yourself. But don't kill them. But if they try to kill you, then basically just shoot them in the leg. Or arm. Or heck, right here, in the shoulder. We do not promote violence, but we promote within the Constitution that every man can and does have the legal, logical, constitutional right to defend themselves. And we're not saying that women don't have that same right. But, of course, due to the feminist movement, they're using the base of illogical blame and trying to act like the woman is crying out as if she's being done wrong in some way when she's really not, especially by using the false rape card, the false other aspect of illogical base, right, against the man, even though the guy's not doing a damn thing to her. The Constitution does not support that crap. But do the feminists know that? No, obviously not. Would they even acknowledge that? Possibly not. Who knows? With that, also, there's many feminists and women that claim that they're not feminists and that they're not part of the Me Too movement. They believe in equality for both and all this other shit. Yet there's also one that there's one African American woman that tries to define the true meaning of feminism when she has no fucking clue what the fucking real definition of feminism is really. Equal to the ones that claim that it's about equality for both genders when it's really not. Thereby, they're demeaning themselves by trying to claim that they know the real, true definition of feminism when they do not. They're just making it up as they go, obviously. That's one other thing to watch out for, men. There's the one thing I did not mention though, if the woman is not and does not show any activity on in any way, even work related or whatnot, right? If she does not show any activity of showing that she's a feminist or Me Too movement follower, definer, and believer, and what have you, right? Then, and if you're dating her, right, that's okay as well. But it's not okay if she does show any actions on that aspect, and you are dating her, and you don't know this act, and even if a MGTOW member were to tell you, then you're out of the MGTOW. You're right back in the plantation. You'll be right back in the plantation. There was a video I remember seeing also where one of them was trying to roast Steve Harvey. Due to the fact that he has a belief system of marriage and everything else, right? That doesn't consider him a feminist. Doesn't consider him a feminist kiss ass either. Or even for the same thing on the basis of the Me Too movement. He's just doing what he believes in and what he's been standing for, even before the Kings of Comedy. That's logical. That's okay. So thereby, it's illogical to even roast him in the MGTOW universe. He's a male. He could easily be eventually at some point within his lifetime, possibly, if he so chooses, that is, to become MGTOW. He can easily change his views easy if he's seen that he's being done wrong by any number of women. Just as Bill Cosby himself was done wrong by women by making false accusations. Many men may think that it's true of what the women have said about Bill Cosby. Many may believe that it's not. But I mean, it could be topsy-turvy too. But the one thing is that we could easily put Bill Cosby in the innocent circle, because women will always try to destroy a man or men in general any way they think they can, because they don't want to be seen as the weaker sex. By showing certain strengths is by demeaning and destroying the male gender. No. That shows sinful actions. By destroying and demeaning the opposite gender, being the male gender from the female, outside the female gender, you're going against the Bible on that one. It may be said also in the feminist movement that we men are going against the Bible in the sense of demeaning and roasting, as we roast and demean and call out the feminist movement bitches of the current feminist and Me Too movement. The basic fact is we wouldn't be doing that, but we have every logical right to defend ourselves. Because we were done wrong. They were never done wrong by us. We did everything we could within reason for the women that we dated, and the women that we were either married to or in a serious fiance type relationship. It's the women that we were in those particular titles, if you want to call them that, with that did us wrong, that did the illogical, sinful actions by cheating on us and expecting us to forgive them and many other things. And as I said before, if there's any women watching this, it's the female's indecisiveness that's blocking the realistic radar and logical radar within the woman. That's making these women do these by swinging from branch to branch, and while riding the what's known in the MGTOW universe as the cock carousel, by jumping from man to man to man and trying to get what they want at a sooner time than what's realistic, and a sooner time than what's really logical as well. And then when and if they go back to the first person that they were dating before they went, along those lines, they expect the guy to forgive her for cheating on him. Ain't gonna happen. Those men that have forgiven the woman or women, you're 100% simp. And it'll take a while for us to even put you into the MGTOW manosphere with that knowledge. That's the truth. What I said also is the truth as well, too. Even in the beginning of this video. The basic fact is that you could go the Tom Likas way, but the one thing is, again, and I can't stress this enough, if your woman that you're dating is found out that she is a feminist, Me Too movement follower, definer, believer, same thing with a feminist movement follower, definer, believer, then you're demoted out of the MGTOW without question. We can, as I said, give you a certain length of time till you realize your wrong actions without finding out things. Of course, there's one thing also too. If you date a woman and she's not a feminist movement follower, definer, believer, same thing with the Me Too movement aspects, right? And you were to have any sexual relations with her, be sure, as always, to have her checked and to wear a condom. Don't believe her papers. You have to be there when she gets the papers, or even go to where she got the test with her, that you went with her essentially at, and look at the papers from the physician. To start, because many forms of sheets of whatever documentation can be falsified and made up to look like they're something they're not. Women are just vindictive enough to do that as well. Believe me, I know. I, as logical MGTOW Spock, am telling you this because I know the male psyche and the female psyche. Yes, I was raised by women most of my life, but I had male role models. One of them being Henry Winkler as the Fonz. The late great Robin Williams as Mark. Tom Bosley, the father of Richie Cunningham and Joni Cunningham, the husband of Marion Cunningham on Happy Days. Ron Howard, Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. Gene Roddenberry. That's 5 right there. And of course, I had another role model, in a sense, from when I was very young, which being, of course, Fred Rogers on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Other role models in the sense of business I have had, which I still have essentially, which is Tom and Joe Long of Long's Drugstores, the founders of Long's Drugstore. The one other aspect is that MGTOW members and red pill definers and followers and believers will not be subservient to any female. Feminist movement follower, definer, believer, Me Too movement follower, definer, believer, or not. We will not go back to the plantation at the female's whim. Because so far the current feminist idiot bitches, even the ones that claim that they're not part of the of the current feminist and Me Too movements, they only see us as only one thing: a way of getting resources from us men, starting from our wallets and from also other base of our own resources. They don't see us as human beings. They may claim that they do, but they really don't. And if she finds that you're a MGTOW member and you're still dating her, and if she leaves you, that's her loss. That's her fucking illogical crap. But it puts you in the running and also puts you where you're safe and secure to stay within the MGTOW manosphere. Or as I called it earlier, the universe. If you want to know more, please let me know on Logical MGTOW Facebook page or on the bottom comment section of this thing. I will, however, put the rules on the description of this video, on the bottom part of this video screen. And to my brother and MGTOW member, Mr. Hate Vicious, Mike the MGTOW Monk, and also the James Maxwell MGTOW Hamster, and also the Red Pill Defender of Undead Chronic. If you want to have a meeting, let me know. Because I know that on one video that Mr. Hate Vicious, the brother of our MGTOW brother, wanted to have a meeting This is Logical MGTOW Spock. Live long and prosper.